Hello everyone, I'm Soyo, and this is episode 3 of Casual Stellaris to Relax and Study to. When we left off on the last episode, we had just finished some early game expansion, claiming these systems in our local galactic neighborhood, starting to grow our territories and our borders. We also settled our first two planets of Boros and Demiria, and began some production and all that kind of good stuff and development on those planets as well. Our goal for this episode is most likely going to be to start building up our fleets, or continue building up our fleets really, as we work towards addressing this drone problem that we have in the Korinthi system. This system is, not super vital to have right now, but I'm not really comfortable with a 4.4 thousand fleet power assembly of ships this close to home. Our fleet right now is currently at 671 fleet power, so it will take a while. I think we're going to try to get up to 2,000 before we start making some advances on the drones there. Let's go ahead and unpause. Now, it's been a few days since I actually played, so I will need to kind of remind myself about where I was. It looks like we have a construction ship here. The Ruthenia is going up to build a starbase in the Spirum system. We have another construction ship that is in the middle of starting to exploit these resources in the Arai system. That's right, we had the science ship, the Calipus, with Mr. Vibius at the helm. He is very fast at studying anomalies, and he is apparently very good at finding minerals, because the last two anomalies he studied both found us some rocks, so we'll keep an eye on him. Looks like our fleet could do with some upgrades, and if I remember right, we are retrofitting these Elva-class corvettes to equip lasers instead of torpedoes. Yes, that's correct. Not torpedoes, nuclear missiles. So go ahead and start that process as well. We discovered another toxic terraforming candidate that we will ignore for now. The reason, by the way, that we are swapping out the missiles for the lasers on these ships is because this drone fleet over here that I just talked about, they are all armor, all hull, no shields. And lasers are best against armor and hull, and we won't have to worry about the shields kind of nullifying that. We finished exploring the Jolan system, so we're going to continue pushing on
Construction complete.
the unknown. We just finished taking this station, or this system as well. Overall, I'm really happy with how the initial kind of territory is looking here. Looks like we found an anomaly here. It's Mr. Vibius. He says, a small rectangular object on the surface of this planet is deflecting all scanning beams like a mirror. Our sensors are unable to determine its material composition. Again, he's pretty quick, so this is only going to take 96 days. We'll go ahead and research it. With the other science vessels, I am ignoring anomalies unless they are quicker than 120 days.
Vessels upgraded.
For now, just because we are working towards proving to our people that we have the ability to make a stellar empire, and to do that we need to continue taking territory and expanding, just for the next, probably another 30 years here. 332 months. I don't feel like doing all that math right now. Let's see, what is this guy doing? He's just sitting there. Let's go ahead and build a starbase in the Foldora system. We're going to claim this nice little cluster of 4 planets, or 4 systems here now, kind of locking it off from any potential invaders. Looks like an alien mural. Who is this? Ah, okay. So while conducting surface scans on Nishpan 5, Science Officer Vibius, our boy, and the crew of the Calipus discovered what appears to be an artificially carved slab of rock covered in alien writings. No other signs of alien activity, and exactly how the mural came to be is a mystery. But we can go ahead and start a special project to translate it. I think we'll go ahead and have him do that. It's not going to tell me how long it will take. Ooh, wrong button.
Star system charted.
Let's go ahead and have him start that special project. Okay, we have finished exploring the Rossmere system, so I'm looking at this nice little cluster here. I'm going to just take the choke point here. We can explore these systems later, but if we're able to claim this system right now, it will stop anyone else from coming in here and taking those from us. Looks like Demiria has an unemployed population, which is perfect. Now, even though I have this set as a generator world right now, it's probably not going to stay this way. I'm pretty good on energy. There is a lot of space for generator districts here, so maybe later on, if I can build an energy grid just to boost those districts a bit, we can relabel this world as something else. Regardless of all that, right now we're short on unity. We're losing 1 unity per month, so I'm going to construct a administrative office to bring that back into balance. So we'll hire some more bureaucrats who can work on improving our society.
Construction complete.
Or whatever you want to think of.
Lifeform
Uh-oh.
encountered.
Looks like the science ship Hephaestion, which I'm going to rename this ship, I can't pronounce it, encountered an alien menace fleet in the Hakalak system and had to evade. Can we see what it was? No, we were too slow to see what it was. Looks like whatever they were, they had a power of about 734. So our fleet may get to see some action sooner than we initially anticipated. We're short on unity. Not unity, we're short on influence. And we have just finished the expand the council agenda. So this is going to unlock this next council position here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now, because of the 2 civics that we chose for our civilization in episode 1, we have 2 options for who's going to sit at the chair here. We can either make a Lord Chancellor position, which is available for both all 3 commanders, scientists, and officials, and each level of the leader we put there will increase the experience gain of the other counselors by 3%. Or we could put a Hyperlane Supervisor, which is available for scientists or commanders, and it says that for each of their experience levels, the Hyperlane Register Starbase buildings will provide an additional +1 stability. We have not unlocked those yet, so we're going to go with the Lord Chancellor. And we get to see who wants to be promoted. So we have Mamercus, who is our newest addition to the science team, and he does have an empire-wide council trait here, Politician 2. So if he sits on the council, our agenda speed will be increased by 10%. As much as I love my boy Vibius, he's too good in the field, so I think we're going to put the new guy up there instead. And now we get to choose a new agenda. So we're going to need to address this unifying promise situation. We're doing pretty good already. Every 15 points that we make on this quest, we will have the Primus's luminary trait improve a certain amount. And right now we are at 28%, or 28 points. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and do this unifying promise agenda. It will take about 101 months, and this is going to unlock some additional approaches in the unifying promise situation here. Right now, our approach is increasing stability by 5, but decreasing monthly influence by 0.25. If we complete the agenda, we could pick any of these, one of which increases planetary and ship build speed by 35%, while reducing alloys. One increases mining station output and slows down surveys, and one boosts research, but increases how expensive the researches are. So I think we'll do that for now. Okay, we have a couple ships that aren't busy doing anything. So, because the Hephaestio can't go into the Hakalak system until we get rid of whatever was in there, I'll just send them to this binary star system there, just so we're not wasting time. Looks like Vibius is about 85% of the way through that situation, so that shouldn't take too long, and one of our ministers, the Minister of State, has leveled up. Now he is the governor of Azoria. Azoria is currently making 33 unity. Still not enough to keep us in balance, so I'm going to choose the unifier trait, which will increase that by a flat percentage. That should bring us back into balance, I'm hoping. We'll take a...
Special project complete.
Once the month turns over, that will update the number there. Looks like we have finished the translation project on Nishpan 5. So, Vibius has managed to partially translate the alien mural. Text contains a large amount of data, and the mural evidently serves as a low-tech library. It describes in broad terms the collected technical knowledge of all of an alien civilization that dominated this region some 80 million years ago. It's pretty cool. A lot of it is already known to us, but the data does contain several promising leads for technologies we had yet to consider. So that's cool. We'll say intriguing, and that's going to add 2 research of each flavor to that planet, and it will give Vibius 200 experience as well. I'm happy with that. Let's finish the survey so we can go ahead and take that system. He is just putting in work, Mr. Vibius. He's found us, the Uri system, if you remember, is making 28 minerals per month. Now he's increased our research at Nishpan. It's almost a shame we didn't put him in the council chair. Looks like our envoy has a report of the Pay Menace, which is the drones here that we already know are drones, but we'll see what the envoy has to say. Reports of the deep space drones have been investigated closer. The drones appear to be the workers and custodians of an autonomous orbital mining operation. Looks like they've been abandoned. The drones possess powerful mining lasers and make obviously threatening, if not outright hostile, overtures towards Korinthi vessels when they are approached. So they're old, but they're still a threat. So we're going to gain 20 influence off of that, which is good, so we can claim another system. And it will unlock the special project drone study.
A foreign power is hailing us.
Let's go check out that special project on the situation log. So if we are willing to spend 60 months of engineering research, The science department may collect and collate some data relating to the drones. Let's see, what are we engineering? Well, we've still got 37 months on this mining station project, and that's only going to increase it by 10%. I say we go ahead and do it. That's a big fleet, and the sooner we can get rid of them, the better. So maybe our scientist will find us some information that can help with that. Ooh, and we have a faction that has been founded. The Korinthi Dominance Front. These members seek to assert the primacy of the Korinthi species by curtailing the rights of aliens if necessary. So the way factions work in this game, based on some of your decisions in game, meaning like your ethics that you have or the policies you have in place in your government tab here, you will have a number of factions that pop up that each have their own kind of interests. And depending on how well you meet those interests with the actions of your government and the laws that you put in place, they will generate a certain amount of unity. Or, if you're displeasing those factions by not appealing to their ethics, you may lose unity. In this case, remember, we're militarists, we're scared of other aliens, we're xenophobic, so a lot of our policies, except for our aggressive first contact protocols, all satisfy this faction. That should actually do some work to bring our unity back into balance, because it looks like the governor that we upgraded didn't do much in that front. Let's see, we're sitting on a good pile of alloys. I'm not sure why he's not building the research station. Vibius leveled up, let's see what he has. Both of these are council traits. You know what, maybe we can give him the politician trait, and if he upgrades again and becomes better than the other council guy, maybe we can swap him out. Because I love Vibius, I want him to stick around. So let's see. Give him politician and see where that gets us. By the way, let's look at the edicts. So we could, for the base rate of 19 unity and then 19 more unity per month, out of this 100 that we already have set aside, enact the Fortify the Border campaign, which allows us to upgrade star bases 50% faster and increases our capacity by 2. I don't need that right now, so I'm going to wait, but we may later on. That'll be something to keep in mind. But that does remind me, we should go ahead and upgrade some star bases in our choke points. So the Foldora system here, you'll notice, is the kind of gateway into the cluster that we have here, as well as the rest of the Empire. So it's going to be an ideal place to have a defensive position. So I'm going to click on the little star base we already have. Every station, or every system that's inside our borders already has one of these little stations, built by its star. All we're going to do is upgrade it to a starport, which is going to allow us to kind of trick it out with some more modules, and later on make it really a defensive hardpoint. Looks like my wishes of this little branch being a dead end are not going to come to pass, so we are going to continue exploring until we find a good, either run into somebody or find a reason to stop. Now we have enough influence to build another star base. We're short on a little bit of alloys, so we'll buy a bunch. And I think I would rather have my next starbase be here in the Rosmere system, so we can go ahead and build an observation post over that primitive world. So the Thracia construction vessel is about 80% of the way through building a research station. I'm going to shift and right click on the Ramsir system, so that once it's done, it will go build a starbase there. Okay, but next is going to be the Ruthenia at Jolun, or maybe Nishpand here. Let's see, Vibius wrapped up his survey there.
Anomaly found.
Bunch more pop-ups. Let's send him this way. We have another anomaly in the Moa system up here, where we diverted the science vessel to get away from the hostile vessel there. So, it says, by chance, we stumbled upon faint alien signals during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? It's only going to take 100 days, so I'll say we'll go ahead and research it. Okay, Demiria finished its building, but it looks like we clicked on it right when it updated, actually. Never mind. Boros now has an unemployed pop. Let's see what we need on the resource front. We're good on energy, minerals, food is okay. Consumer goods is still dwindling. Alloys, we always need more. Unity is okay for now. I think we'll go ahead and make another industrial district for now. Boros, again, is a forge world, meaning it is geared towards alloy production. We have another faction that was founded, the Military Industrial Complex. I'm not sure if you want to name your faction that. Their members have been pushing hard for us to assert our military dominance over the rest of the galaxy. Well, that's fortuitous. That's what we're trying to do right now anyways. Ooh. Ruined interstellar assembly. Let's see where this is. The remains of a vast space station have been found in Horsham. Where's that? Maybe we haven't gone there yet. Judging by the amount of what seems to be office space and a vast forum outfitted with dozens of different types of life support systems, our scientists suspect that this is all that remains of an interstellar assembly. Fascinating. Maybe we'll learn more about that later. Let's see. Azoria has an open building slot and currently 0 available jobs, which means that in the... let's see, that's going to be 241 months before we have another population, but they will need a job eventually, so I think we'll go ahead and get ahead of this issue. And let's go ahead and build another research lab. Okay, looks like our Minister of Defense has leveled up. Let's go ahead and give him the Skirmisher 2 trait. With him on the council as the Minister, this will give all ships in the Empire an additional plus 5% to their damage and 15% sublight speed. We are going to have some fast ships. We've really spec'd into speed this playthrough so far. Looks like we have a report from the Moa system. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Moa 2. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the Hephaestio managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or revered leader. Interesting. That's going to give us 272 society research. We still have about 29 months on the Alien Zoo project, though. Okay, let's get moving. So, I'm going to pause. Looks like we just unlocked the next tradition. We'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to go to our fleet manager. We can finish off this fleet, 3 more ships, using exactly how many alloys we had. That's cool. That will take just a little while, 60 days per ship, so about 180 days total to get our fleet up to 15. Currently we're sitting at 834 power, and whatever the threat was we saw over here was 734. So we should be able to address that. Let's look at our traditions. So again, we're trying to finish this prosperity tree as soon as we can. I think we will go ahead and get interstellar franchising, which reduces the upkeep of our jobs by 5%. Everything we can do to save more and make more. Ah, and here's the here's that ruined megastructure. So it looks like, oh, ruined is an understatement, man. This might as well just be a big pile of metal. It's more than ruined. How could you tell what it was? That's funny. But maybe later on we'll figure out how to piece it back together and see what it does. Okay, Thracia is going to go ahead and build its observation post first and its mining station second. How are we doing in Foldera? We've got another 2 months before that starbase upgrades. I think we'll go ahead and make our next hardpoint in Arai. Now, I ranted all about Arai last game, so I shouldn't, or last episode. But again, because of this Pulsar, this is going to be a great defensive position, because any ship that enters here will have its shields totally stripped away. Speaking of, let's look at our defense platforms. Well, at least design one that will be used in that system. I think we will name it the Pulsar-Class defense platform. That should make it easy to remember when we will need to use it. Now, the way that designing ships goes, we have all these different sections for defense platforms, rather. Now, in this system, in Arai, I know that any enemy vehicle, and my vehicles as well, will have no shields. So I'm going to probably bias towards laser-equipped things, because again, lasers are good against things that have little to no shielding. I'm going to pick a medium station section here. You'll notice that the medium weapons are equal to 2 smalls, and the large are equal to 2 mediums. And then I will pick... probably just going to stick with another medium for now. Later on we may change that and put some hangar spots or something like that in there. But for right now we're just going to go full lasers and full armor, which is going to make this a very expensive defense platform, but it's going to be perfectly optimized for working in that system. That's going to be 300 alloys per platform, but it'll be worth it. So that is our Pulsar-Class defense platform. The Plumbata, which is the auto-generated one, is okay for now. Again, we're not going to be able to afford much of these until later on, so we'll wait. Okay, have we finished reinforcing our fleet? We are at 14 ships. Let's see, Foldora finished its construction queue. So we have our newest starbase here. We have a starport in the Foldora system now. So let's go ahead and outfit this with some modules. So with this being in a choke point, I'm at least going to give it one gun battery, which will add 2 medium-sized weapons to the starbase itself. And if we look at the starbase, we'll see that currently it's equipped with 3 medium mass drivers. One of the worst things about this game right now is they haven't added the ability to change what the starbase itself is equipped with, only what the defense platforms are. That's okay, we'll manage. So let's add a gun battery. The other module, we could add a shipyard, because we'll probably want to station a fleet here. 1, because it's in this choke point, and 2, because it's near this big drone menace. And we'll want to build up our fleet and then send them straight in there. So I think that's what we'll do for now. When it comes to buildings, because I know that I'm going to have a fleet kind of in residence here, I'm going to make a crew quarters, which will reduce the upkeep of the docked ships, any ship that's orbiting that station, by 25%. So kind of planning ahead. Looks like Demeria is out of housing, so we're going to build a city district. Now, city districts are nice. They provide 5 housing per spot, and 1 job for clerks. Now, clerks provide trade value, which is just energy credits, and amenities. Right now, we're a little low on amenities, only 4. So we'll go ahead and do that. And city districts unlock another building slot for us. So it's like a triple win. It's a lot of wins. Let's see, we just need alloys before we can build the Nishpan starbase. So we'll go ahead and get those, get that done. Ruthenia will have to wait just a little longer. We need 22 more influence. And our fleet is fully supplied, so let's get out to the Foldora system.
Anomaly found.
And then we'll kind of use this as a staging area to battle. Looks like we just had more drones here. Only 734 fleet power. We've got 6 small drones here, so that should be no problem at all for us. We're already equipped to take out drones. Looks like our head of research in the MOA system found another anomaly, surface beacon. We are receiving a weak signal from the surface of this planet. The source appears to be some kind of tracking beacon. 80 days, go ahead and knock that one out. See what we find. Our fleet is going to take about a year to get out to the Foldora system.
Construction complete.
Can you imagine being one of the military guys that works on these ships? Spending years and years, basically your whole life, living on a ship. I mean, in the future, it's probably, you know, a normal thing, but I could never. Although space would be pretty cool. I don't like the ocean a whole lot, but space would be neat.
Construction complete.
Ooh, we made an encounter. So, encounter in Chiselion. It looks like it's another enemy. Let's place our bets now. Is it going to be space amoeba or more drones? We'll go ahead and assign an envoy to it just to start working on it. Let's get that influence bonus, and let's take a look. Ah. Oh, these are the space crystals. So again, because I've played this game before, I know what these are. It's just little floating crystal guys. Look at that, it's all hull, no armor. So our currently equipped ships with the lasers only should be in a good spot, at least to begin with, to handle those guys. Looks like our head of research finished studying her anomaly. A small short-range transmitter has been located on the surface of MOA 6. It appears to be an ancient survey marker placed here eons ago to mark a large deposit of precious metals. The miners it was meant for evidently never arrived, as the deposit is still here. Fascinating, we're getting 4 minerals out of that. Medical side effects. Using silent drones and tractor beams, we were able to successfully collect, analyze, and study unsuspecting Jubaran individuals. Oh, this is the primitive society that we built this observation platform above. So this is an ocean world inhabited by, I think it said they were in the medieval age, and we are spying on them right now. So it looks like we've been kidnapping them. Unfortunately, the tractor beams have an unexpected effect on the Jubaran's physiology. After being returned to their homes, the specimens started suffering from boils, rashes, and uncontrollable sneezing, experiencing a total dissolution of their outer tissue layers within 3 hours of their return. Ugh, it's nasty. The mysterious skin-dissolving illness has already become a national health emergency, and autopsies will doubtlessly reveal proof of external tampering. So we have 3 approaches to this. We could say re-kidnap the specimens to study the effects of our beams, which will give us 500 society research, but it will increase their awareness of us by 10. If their awareness hits 100, obviously, then they'll know that we're out there. Not that they'll be able to do anything about it. We could say decrease tractor beam power and lay low for a while, which will reduce our society research by 90% for 6 months. Or we could say increase tractor beam power and test them on the natives, which unlocks the UV lasers option and gives us 70% research to UV lasers. It will kill a pop and increase their awareness by 10. But let's be in character here. We're xenophobes, so we're scared of these guys already, even though they pose no threat to us. We're still scared of them. And we're militarist. So I think it's pretty obvious we're going to go with option 3. Make some progress on our UV laser technology, and really stick it to the aliens here. Let's take a look at their planet here. So they're currently at low awareness. They're in the late medieval age, and they are a molluscoid species. Interesting. Look at their planet. Ocean world. They've got a pyramid, some primitive dwellings, and 44% stability, so maybe in the future somebody should step in there and bring order to their chaotic lives. We really are playing the bad guys, aren't we? Nah. Alright, Boros is an open building spot. We have 3 amenities produced, 1 job open. I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of the issue here and build a hollow theaters. This will produce a small amount of unity and a large amount of amenities. Increasing amenities should help increase the population growth by a little bit as well, just to speed things up. We are still really pushing into the cluster up here. We may pause this for a moment. Nah, we'll just keep going. If those systems didn't want to be colonized, they wouldn't have been there.
Construction complete.
Okay, we finished our Arai starbase, so similarly we're going to build a gun platform and a shipyard, because I will probably be having some fleets stationed here. And let's go ahead and make a crew quarters for the same reason. Now, because the Pulsar is already taking away the shields from everything, we could, later on, once we get a bigger kind of station here, build in some modules like the communications jammer that slows down enemy ships and reduces the chance that they can get away if they become too damaged.
System charted.
So we'll have to keep that in mind.
Construction complete.
Okay, I'm going to send Vibius down this little branch here.
Star system charted.
Things are really picking up speed. Until we can get into this little cluster here, I'm going to have us keep exploring this segment. Abandoned gateway. We have located what we believed could be an ancient subspace gateway near the Zucanus black hole. It appears to have been part of a galaxy-wide network of similar stations, which when operational allowed for near-instantaneous travel from one part of the galaxy to another. At some point, its connection to the rest of the network was severed. It now only takes us to an uncharted group of stars just outside the galaxy that we call the L cluster. Even more intriguing, the gateway was built entirely by microscopic nanites of an unknown design. It has been locked into some kind of maintenance loop that prevents its activation. Until we find a way of aborting this process, the L cluster will be beyond our reach. That is pretty cool.
Situation log.
So that's like a middle-late game kind of deal, but we will certainly keep that in mind. Vibius is just tearing it up, man. He has found the interstellar assembly. He has found the L-gate system. He's found a ton of minerals. He is just killing it. I think he's going to get that spot on the council. Don't tell the other guy. Okay, Unity's looking good. Consumer goods are getting low, so let's go ahead and put a civilian industries on Demiria. I think we'll go ahead and switch this from a generator world to a factory world, just for now. This will provide a 20% boost to the production of our consumer goods. And especially with that research lab that we finished on Azoria, we will need some more consumer goods pretty soon. So we'll get ahead of that problem here. Looks like we have an anomaly. Who found it? The new guy. Mamercus. Despite the toxic content and high pressure of this planet's atmosphere, strong life signs have been detected coming in from its surface. 120 days, just at the limit. We'll go ahead and research it. And Vibius has finished surveying the black hole. So we'll keep him going down this direction. Our fleet has made it to full Dora, so let's start. So we're sitting at about 1,000 fleet power. Now the fleet power numbers in this game, it's relative, right? I have personally had a fleet of 1,000 power beat a fleet of 8,000 power just because they were built in a way that perfectly countered the ships in the other fleet. That being said, 1000 is still bigger than 734 last I checked, so we're going to go ahead and send them that way. We're going to have a combat in about 120 days. And that will be fun. That'll be our first combat of the series. Good to see our laser ships in action, the Elva-class corvettes. We have an update on the Upsilon Menace. They are living crystals.
Complete.
Keep at it, we already knew that. Okay. Doing pretty good on alloys, I'm happy with that. I think we're going to go ahead and expand our fleet up to 20 corvettes. Later on, we may be able to split this into some smaller fleets once we unlock some other ship types. But for now, more is better. It looks like we have just made it to the system, so I'm going to slow the game down all the way to the slowest speed using the minus key. And I love watching combat happen. So here's our guys. Now remember, we are equipped with full lasers.
Attacking enemy vessels.
We should perfectly look at that. Beautiful. Melting the armor off these drones. We already overpower these, or outnumber these guys. But between our numbers and the fact that we are perfectly equipped to counter them because they have no shields, this should be something of a cakewalk. Look at that, they're already down to 5 ships. 4 ships. Our glorious fleet putting in the work. Very cool. Oop. Come on, don't interrupt.
Technology secured.
Alright, so we get the points. And one more ship. He's a tough one. Alright, we did it. We lost no ships, they lost all 6, and we have not quite gotten to their mining station yet, but we'll get that next. So this little combat recap that comes up at the end of every fight, this is good to look at when you're kind of studying how effective your ships are at countering different like nations or types of enemies. We can see that the drones, the 6 drones, did 655 total damage to our shields at only 49% efficiency, because they're only equipped with lasers. They did no damage to our armor and no damage to our hull. Our shields recharge every day, so we basically took no losses. We barely even took any damage. Meanwhile, we did 6,000 damage to their armor at 149% efficiency, and an additional 1,500 damage to their hull, obviously because we killed them, at 124% efficiency. We evaded 17% of their shots, and we hit 84% of ours. They evaded 11% and hit 59%, so we just outclassed them at every turn here. I'm very pleased with that. Let's look at this real quick. This was that anomaly. Life signs observed within the toxic atmosphere of the planet are giant semi-organic machines. This alien industry seems to have been the cause of the noxious atmosphere on the planet, yet it's still operational. No other life signs remain on the world, and the creators of these machines must have left them running. We can't quite ascertain their purpose yet, but their construction could surely help our understanding of engineering. We could say curious and gain 4 engineering research. We could say harvest what parts we can, adding 3 alloys. That sounds pretty good. Or we could say let sleeping fools lie and get 4 society research. I like alloys. Let's go with the alloys. Alright, we have a new society option for research. We could increase our edicts funds by 20. We could unlock the ability to make hydroponics farms and bays, or we could increase our farmer output. I think we will do the hydroponics option for now. Anything that sends us farther down this biology path is good with me. You'll see this orange notification, a timed project, and that is from the combat we just had. We can send a science vessel out here to study the drones, and I think we'll do that, because right now we're kind of spinning our wheels exploring the rest of this cluster when we should be expanding. So let's take our head of research and send her out in that direction instead. Then I'm going to take our military fleet and send them back to the Foldora base. I imagine that our pilots and everybody will be celebrating once they make it back home for their first victory. Really the first space battle that our empire has seen as well, and we won. And I think what I'll do is once we're done surveying this little cluster here, I'm going to send the Isidore back to the home cluster to get these planets all, or these systems all surveyed. And we'll get some bases put down there just to fill in our borders a little bit. It is taking Numidia forever to build all these improvements in the Nishpan system. To be fair, they have a lot to do. Oh, we're also on slow speed still, that might help. Let's see, we need 41 alloys for our starbase there, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we keep expanding. We were just chugging along. As I was saying, like, probably 20 minutes ago at this point, I do like this initial spawn, because we have a great little home cluster here that has very well-defined choke points in Foldora, Irai, and any of these branches here. And I really like that. All of these planets, or all of these systems, sorry, are going to be within 4 jumps of Diadem, which will make this all the same sector. So later on, you know, when we start looking at our sector governors, that will be great. And overall, I just love having these little neighborhoods. It makes the planning and kind of just looking at it a lot easier, rather than having a big sprawling mess.
Anomaly found.
Okay, we found an unscannable object in the Morgard system. That is up here to the galactic north. An object that reflects our sensors has been located in the Morgard asteroid field near that thing. Visual observation has identified the object as polygonal in shape, but due to lack of scanner data, little else is known. We'll go ahead and research that. It's only 100 days. Wonder if it's one of those teardrops from the 3 Body Problems series. If anybody out there has read that. I thought that was probably the coolest piece of science fiction. For those who haven't, it's a sci-fi trilogy, and there's a scene in there where there's like an alien vessel that is made of particles that are like held together using the nuclear strong force, so they're as close together as they could possibly be. Even if you look at it under an electron microscope, it's still just a mirror. It's really cool. Just the idea of that. So maybe that's what we found up there. Probably not. Hopefully not, because it kind of messed us up. So we finished studying the drones. We got 10% progress to mining drone lasers, fusion power, ion thrusters. We got 40 points of physics research and 60 points of engineering. Definitely worthwhile endeavor there. Let's go ahead and survey the system. And then we have a report back from the Isidore. We recovered the reflective polygonal object near the system, bringing it on board for a detailed study. The object's most intriguing quality is its ability to reflect most types of low-frequency energy beams directed toward it. High-frequency energy beams, however, remain unaffected, making the object's properties useless with regards to any potential fleet defense applications. That's a bummer. Despite expensive examination, the Isidore research team has been unable to determine the function or origin of the device. It appears to be hollow, but its surface is engraved with some kind of scientific notation. Though the full meaning of it is eluding us, the scientist believes that it relates to wormhole metrics. Our research team was able to glean some fascinating insights into wormhole theory by studying these notations. Whatever purpose this object was created for is still a mystery. Disconcerting, we get 800 physics research, which should bring us closer to getting the Hyperdrive 2 technology. And we gain an insight to the L gate. So if we look at our situation log, the L cluster, once we reach 7 insights, maybe we'll be able to activate that gateway that our boy Vibius found all the way out here. Something to think about.
Construction complete.
I would love to find another arid world. Oh, look at that. Speaking of, there it is. Right in Hackalax. And that's an interesting place to have a planet, because maybe later on we can put a fortress down there.
System charted.
And just really increase the security of the Western Front.
Special project complete.
Alright, I'm going to bring back the Isidore, bring him back home for now. We've gone far enough north for our capacity. I don't want to run into any hostiles up here and have to bring our fleet all the way across the Empire to get to them. So for now we're going to slow down, bring him back home, start filling in our borders. Mining drone work ethic. The drones and their light, tireless, endless work of extracting ever-diminishing resources from their local planetoids make for a somewhat dull but nevertheless informative subject of study. In fact, mining networks on Azoria could stand to learn a thing or two about maximizing mineral extraction rates while conserving energy. Additionally, we found that the drones aren't silent. They emit signal pings, though extremely infrequently and at a wavelength hard to isolate from background noise. If there's anyone left to receive these pings, maybe a mystery for another time. We can say easy prey, which will increase the damage we do to them by 33%, or fascinating automata, which will make our mining stations do 10% more output. We're militarists. We're going to say easy prey. Anything we can do to shelter ourselves from the aliens, because the phobia we have of them. Alright, Numidia. I know you got a lot to do, but let's pick it up, dude. Very triumphant music for not much happening. Heated rhythm in the Grekel system. What'd you find for me, Vibius? Let's see. Sensors pick up rhythmic movement on the hellish surface of Grekel 1. Alright, we'll go ahead and study that. Let's see, it looks like Mustafar. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised we haven't run into another Empire yet. Don't let me speak too soon though, because those guys are scary. The Upsilon Menace. That was what we found out here in the Cheselian system. Our researchers have finished investigating the reports of extraordinary free-floating crystal-like objects observed in the system. Their findings are startling. The ship-sized objects and their slightly smaller but equally crystal-like satellites at first appeared inert, but sudden shifts in their orientation relative to our ships and now new energy signatures emerging from within the prisms indicate that they should be regarded as hazardous and approached with extreme caution. We should deploy a fleet to gauge their offensive strength, should they possess any, and destroy them if they are a threat. We'll say easy prey. That will give us 33 damage to those entities, and 500 minerals for every entity fleet that we destroy. 21 influence now,
A foreign power is
and it ends the first contact. So that should give us enough influence to at least make another starbase. Go ahead and grab the Horsham system with that ruined megastructure in it. Okay, Ruthenia. Geothermal. Okay, so Vibius says, the measured pounding of... I hate those long sound effects. The measured pounding observed from orbit is the motion of immense and ancient geothermal extractors breathing their last. Built and then abandoned at some point in the distant past, the vast batteries of disintegrating machinery have been pumping up superheated fluids from the planet's core ever since. Their storage capacitors are all broken or leaking, but some energy can still be siphoned from them. Good job, Vibius. He's getting us 1,800 energy credits and 3 engineering research on the planet. That's a lot of energy. The Classis 1 fleet is up to 1,300 fleet power. The mining drone fleet is 4,000. I'm thinking that maybe 2,000 to 2,500 is going to be what we'll need to get rid of them, taking into consideration our damage bonus against them and the fact that we are equipped with pure lasers.
Technology secured.
We have unlocked the Hyperdrive 2 in the Transit Hub. Now the Transit Hub allows slaves and unemployed robot workers to resettle from planets automatically if there are no available jobs for them on those planets. So it's not super useful right now, but later on if we convert the population of Rosmere into prisoners with jobs, maybe that will be useful. Let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and speedrun this UV laser. Well, we could use the fusion reactors because right now our ships are barely getting by on power with the reactor boosters because of how energy intensive these lasers are. So as much as I want to get straight into UV lasers, the next upgrade from blue lasers, I think we'll do the fusion reactors first, just so that we can maybe swap out those reactor boosters for afterburners and get our ships even faster. Right now we have a speed of 137. Wait, no, that's our defense platform. Right now we have a speed of 3,500, much better, which is bringing our evasion up to 60%. We'll get there. Let's go ahead and upgrade classes. Get them all kitted up with the new hyperdrives. Playful Ruins. Vibius found us something else. Vibius says that there are impressive structures that litter a small area on the surface of Grekel 3. I find that very hard to believe. This world is Mustafar. You mean there's structures on here? Practically begging for some archaeological work. Alright, go ahead and look at it. Ruthenia. They keep giving Ruthenia the short stick when it comes to building stations.
Construction complete.
Numidia finished in the Horsham system. Go ahead and build your mining stations and research stations. We are pulling in 70 minerals a month, but we're down to 36 energy credits a month, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I think we started the episode at 70.
Vessels upgraded.
Classis has the new hyperdrives on, except for one ship. We'll get that one done.
Vessels upgraded.
Now Classis does. Let's see what our Elva corvettes look like now. We have 3 blue lasers,
Complete.
2 deflectors, an armor plate, a fission reactor, hyperdrive 1, chemical thrusters, radar, and a basic combat computer. And we have another tradition. The only one we can unlock right now is standard construction templates, which reduce the build cost of buildings and districts by 10 and increases the build speed by 25%. Vibius says he found an abandoned amusement park structures on Greco 3 are not as old as we first believed. It seems to be a playground or amusement park of some sort. Highly complex creations that we can learn from. And it might have even been a cutting-edge sensor array or even a gigantic art installation. Regardless, to us, it looks mostly like a place where you would take your young and let them amuse themselves. How did you find that on a planet covered in lava? Maybe it's some future stuff. We'll say intriguing, giving us 760 society research and 1,000 engineering. Good job, Vibius. He's the man. Okay, Thrasea is done, so we'll go ahead and send them to Hakalax so that once we are done surveying it, we can take it and get that planet colonized. Shouldn't be too much longer. I think we have 5 more planetary bodies to go. Okay. Let's go look at our policies and edicts. We haven't really unlocked anything else worth doing for now, so we'll wait. Actually, I may be wrong on these. I don't really use them a whole lot. Does the... Okay, so the Edicts Fund only accounts for the Unity ones. So I would do these if the energy pulled from that Nebulous 100, but I can't really afford to be giving up 30 energy a month just to increase later experience gain by 10%. It's unfortunate, but we'll make do. So this is where the game kind of slows down. We're at like the middle section of the early game, I'd say, at least our initial expansion. And we're really just waiting for surveys to finish, and influence is our #1 limiting factor. The best way to get around that is by increasing our fleet size. But you'll notice our naval capacity, we have 20 out of 20 ships. That's all our Empire can support for now. There's a few ways to increase that. We could eventually come across some technologies that do it for us, or if on any of our planets we use a building slot to build a stronghold, which will employ 2 soldiers, 2 pops worth of soldiers, so maybe 2 billion soldiers, and each soldier increases our naval production by 8. I think that once we colonize this planet in the Hakalax system, we will put at least 1 fortress on there, if not 2, because again, with this being in a choke point, that's going to be a good idea anyways, but it will also increase our fleet capacity. Phoebus is done down in Grekel. We're going to send him this way towards the choke point. And we'll just keep chugging along. Now, Ruthenia could build a starbase here, but I'm going to save those resources for now, because we're almost done in the Hakalax system. I want to grab that quickly so we can colonize it. We finished our mining bay research. Now we can unlock the basic strike craft, giving us carrier options. So basic strike craft are good because they penetrate shields and they do additional damage to armor, which right now is a bit of a weak spot for us. In terms of shield penetration, we only have the missiles, so that could be something. We also could increase our hull points, unlock the next kinetic weapon, or ion thrusters, which make our ships faster. And I think we're going to go with carrier operations. Now the reason for this is not for the basic strike craft. We won't even have ships with carrier spots until we get to cruisers, I believe. But what I want is the starbase module, the hangar bay module, because the hangar bays are really good at providing trade protection. And what that is if we look at our starbases, we can click trade routes, and we see that each upgraded starbase is sending trade back to Diadem, the capital. Right now we're not collecting too much trade, and these icons here, these little rings, that represents trade value. Each starbase automatically, I believe, collects trade within 1 jump, so anything that is in immediate proximity, it will grab that trade and send it to Diadem. But you can upgrade that by equipping them with trade hubs, which each trade hub extends its range. Right now it's not a problem, because we're not collecting a lot of trade, but eventually you'll see that our trade protection is going to not be enough to protect the amount of trade moving through each system, which can increase our risks for piracy. But if we have hangar bays are the best at providing trade protection, because they increase the range of the trade protection, and they provide a good amount in general. So any non-stronghold starbase, and even some that are, will at least give 1 or 2 hangar bays. That's what I'm thinking. I'm imagining that we'll get some good trade value out of this little cluster here, and so maybe we could consider that. Okay, Ruthenia is going to keep waiting. If we get up to 90 influence, which it looks like we will soon, and we should be able to afford 2-star bases, so we'll go ahead and have it do its thing. Lord Chancellor has upgraded. Now, full on, I'm planning on taking him out of his power, or his seat of power, and giving it to Vibius because I like him more. So we're going to give him the Archaeologist trait, which will increase his archaeology speed, because he did discover a site up here. We have another site to work on in Demiria, and once we stop expanding, that will be important. Vibius is going to start getting the Empire-wide benefits as soon as he starts leveling up.
Technology secured.
Here we have our hydroponics farms ready. Let's go ahead and do genome mapping. This is a good start. Eventually we're going to need to do these other two if we want to keep progressing down the other paths, but again, I want to kind of fast track this biology. Genome mapping will increase our population growth speed by 10. Now the reason I want to do the biology path is because, one, I want to do the genetic ascension, which is kind of perfecting the genes of the race. I think it's very on brand with the Empire we're playing. We believe in our superiority, so we should ensure that we are. Also, it's going to increase the lifespan of our leaders. Or we'll unlock some technology that will anyways. And we want to keep the Primus alive and in good condition, and we want to keep the rest of our leaders alive and in good condition as well. The Primus is 57 now. We have an average age of about 55 to 60 on the council. Now granted, remember, we live... What was that trait we picked? I don't remember if we did the big one or the little one. We did... So our leaders right now have plus 25 years to average, so they're going to make it to at least 100. But after that, they could die, and I don't want that to happen. I want to keep them around. Okay, so go ahead and build this starbase as well.
Council agenda ready.
Our agenda, the Unifying Promise, is done. We will launch it. And Arana Valcoria, an experimental starbase. So this is just a benefit we get for finishing the agenda. Reports on the new construction project are having a profound effect on public morale. With the production costs behind us, we look forward to the realization of this incredible feat of engineering. We can now afford to focus our expansion efforts on different disciplines. We're closer to the goal, and now the starport in a rye, this is perfect. So when you finish this agenda, you get a random effect. I had another game I played with this origin where it gave me a cruiser in the early game, which was awesome, because I was like crushing other opponents. But what this one did is it upgraded our starport in a rye to the next level, which is now a, what was it called again? Starhold? A Starhold, yes. And that's a technology we may not have for a while, so that gives us an additional 2 module spots and another building. And I think it gives it more weapons as well. Yeah, look at that. So, especially at this stage in the game, nobody's getting through a ride. That is 2,000 fleet power just from the starbase. Let's pick a new agenda. I think we're going to go with Favored Society. This will give us an increase of 5% to our specialist pop output for the duration of the agenda being worked on, and then additional 5 to 20, it says, once it's launched for 10 years. We'll certainly do that. That's going to be alloys, unity, everything. And that is why I picked the prosperity tree. It's very good in the early game.
Complete.
We have finished our starbase in Hackalax. Let's have him start. Now we have plenty of resources, so we can go ahead and get this colonizing. Before we do that, let's name the system. So we're sticking with our Magic the Gathering themes. Right now we have Boros, Demiria, and Azoria as our home planet. So I think Gruul would be next. Now Gruul certainly doesn't sound good, so maybe we can Latinize it. Say Gruulia. Do what we did with Demiria. It's kind of hand wavy. Whatever. Colonize this with our guys. Now let's think ahead. Gruulia also has a lot of agriculture space and a lot of mining space. It's a big planet. Well, no, it's not. 15. So we'll have to think about what we want that to be. We know that we're at least going to put a stronghold on it. We may even put more than one stronghold on it, make it a military world, or at least a partial military world. Although later on, if we convert these primitives into prisoners with jobs, whatever planets we send them to, those will probably be under martial law, so we'll have the most army bases. We have an unknown variable here in the Korinthi system. Looks like Mining Drone Expansion Initiative. Did I miss something? Who are these guys? Why are they moving? Are the drones colonizing? Are they spreading? They're heading out this way. I don't like that. I think we should probably intercept them with Classes 1. So let's kind of hook around through Flunf and then get into system I just saw them travel into. Go ahead and kill them. And we'll equip Arai with some more upgrades here. So we don't know if these systems out here have trade value, so I'll ignore that for now. I think we're going to put an anchorage down. That'll increase our naval capacity by 4. I think we'll do 2 of those for now. And then let's give it a hydroponics bay. We're at 10 food per month. This will give us an additional 10. It'll double it. Later on we'll switch it. But right now I see no reason to waste the resources on the military ones. Boros has no housing, so let's build a city district. And then once that is done, we will have them...
Technology secure.
Let's just make another industrial district as well. We have gotten our fusion reactors, that's perfect, so we can go ahead and go down the UV laser path. We're kind of doing this glass cannon build. I think after UV lasers we'll need to do the improved deflectors because our shields are still level 1. Let's go ahead and make sure our ship's auto-upgraded. So we now have fission... No, we want fusion now. Yeah, there we go. Fusion reactors, we can get rid of the reactor boosters and put on afterburners. So right now our speed is 3656. That brings us up to 3911, and our evasion is now 63%. Which is awesome, so we'll save that. We're moving fast, we're hitting hard.
Complete.
Getting ready to get rid of these drones. And we may not be able to do it this episode, but we will at least get rid of
Star system charted.
whatever it was that moved into that system. Let's catch up on our ships before we go to combat. Numidia is done. We'll send them to this black hole. The Calipus is done, so we'll have him... Might as well just finish off this cluster, see if we can get any more intel about what's down this way. Ruthenia is done, so you can build your mining station. And now we will pay attention to classes. It's going to be 50 days before they make it out.
Anomaly found.
I don't even care what this anomaly is. It's going to take us a year. We don't have the time for that. We need more territory. Come on, let's get moving. They did it. They jumped.
Spaceborne lifeform encountered.
Alright, so looks like we have found... I mean, isn't this beautiful? Just look at this. Very cool. And I believe we are inside a nebula. We are. What that means right now is not much. Other than the fact that we have no shields, that's going to be a problem actually, because they're equipped with lasers that do better damage to holes than our lasers do, but our evasion goes up, and our evasion was already pretty high. We might lose some ships here. This might get kind of ugly. Later on, what this nebula means is that if we put a starbase here, we can build a nebula mining or refinery station, which will give us some heavy mineral production. But let's slow down the game, cross our fingers, and this will be the first challenging combat that we come across here. Godspeed, classes. Now granted, it's 20 on 6, so I think that the odds are relatively in our favor, but us not having shields is going to be a problem. You can already see that they're doing 150% efficient damage to us, but we are as well. Love these laser shows. I do like the torpedo loadout, or the missile loadout, because you can actually see what's going on beyond just bright lights. But you gotta admit, there's something pretty about this. Let's see. I don't think we've lost any ships yet. We've got one that's getting close. All of its shield and armor is gone. It's down a hole, and we won anyways. Alright, let's count up the damage. We lost no ships. Alright, we took a lot of damage to the hull, though. So we'll have to go back to a starbase and repair our ships, at least. But we taught them a lesson. They're drones, so I'm sure they didn't learn anything, but... Okay, Hephaestio has finished in the Siplin system. I'm going to have them route back here to study these drones, give us some more bonus to our research. Classis is down to 95% hull points, 67% armor, and currently 0 shields because of the nebula. So we were going to tell them to return home to repair and upgrade while they're at it. Get those new reactors on. Alright, and with that, we are going to end the episode here. That was episode 3. So, sorry that we have not addressed the drone problem yet, but I have a feeling that next episode we'll be able to. We're sitting at 2,000 fleet power now. Just a little bit more and I'll be comfortable throwing our boys into the fray here. So we can look forward to that for episode 4. What else we need to do is get this colony set up once the ship is there and landed and established, so we have that to look forward to next time as well. And overall, looks like we are coming along nicely. Korinthi alignment is expanding. So thank you again for watching. My name was Soyo, and for this episode's comment, let's see, I think I asked you already what ethics you liked, what civics you like. What is your favorite species appearance? Do you prefer the humanoids, the molluscoids, the necroids? You know, leave a comment down below telling me which, because I personally pretty much always play as humanoids. So maybe I'm just not creative. But anyways, thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one.